Good morning, students. The screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So last classes and all, I just told you about what are the different the machineries for compacting and what are the factors affecting this compacting and all. Okay. Next, we'll straight away come to the other level. So that was about the sub-base and subgrade, the impactment of formation. Next layer above that is sub-base layer. So this sub-base layer, this is an intermediate layer between the subgrade. Above that you have your granular base course. So it's is an intermediate layer between these two. So this will transfer the load or the stresses imposed from the top layer and it will get transmitted to the lower layer. Other important function of this layer is the drainage property. So this should act as a drainage layer. Suppose the water, if it happens to enter inside, it should be possible for through this layer to drain out of the pavement without entering into the pavement. That's the motive. So whenever you're checking for the properties of this subbase, you should check for the permeability properties of the subbase also, such that it should be easy for the water to get out of the pavement layer. And the materials for subbase, what you are commonly using, like locally available materials like natural sand, gravel or muram, concrete, then crushed stone or laterite. Apart from that, you can make use of the industrial waste or other materials like steel slag, pond ash or bottom ash, crushed concrete or brick bats, or a combination of any of this also can be used. So this is a grading of granular subbase material as given in the MRTA specification. Actually, then more 5th revision, in earlier like 4th and other before that revision, you have two test grading or two tables were given for close graded and post graded aggregate, no, open graded or post graded this granular subbase. But in the revised or in 5th revision onwards, only one table, but who have grading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gradings are given. So as given in this, I have mentioned to you there's two properties for the granular subbase. One is that it will transmit the load, or other one, the main prominent one, it should not allow the finer particles of subgrade to mix with the base course. Okay, so this will act as an intermediate layer. Other one is to have drainage. So these two properties can be met by any of this grading. And sometimes if you find like you are providing this exclusively for drainage, the granular subbase layer can be provided in two layers. The bottom layer can be for filtering this material or these fine particles, and top layer is exclusively for drainage. So you can have separate layer or grading for these two, or you can choose a grading which will serve both the purpose and can have a simple grading. Okay. Layer, single layer. So this is a typical cross section showing the granular subbase layer. So this granular, as the one of the main purposes for drainage, and you should make sure that this granular subbase is extended from drain to drain. Okay, for other layer like over this base or bituminous layer can be up to the pavement or for the carriageway. but this granular beyond the shoulders, it should be extended to the drain to drain, this granular subbase. Okay, this is a first one is a road on fill where no subsurface drains is provided. You are having a granular subbase. And second one is road in cut where again no subsurface drain is provided. So it's make sure that the GSB layer is extended to the drain to drain. And in this you can see that it's provided in two layers. The bottom layer being a filter material where required, where it so it should not, it won't allow the subgrade fine particle to mix with the base material. The top layer on this granular subbase, this is often graded drainage layer or subbase, which is exclusively serve the purpose of drainage. Okay. And the third figure, again, this is a drainage system with subsurface drains. So, some constraints, if you find like there's constraint in extending the subbase over the entire formation width, or sometimes the drains would be in quite some distance, or it might not be there. In that cases, you can provide, there are provisions where, or you can provide subsurface drains can be provided. Okay. In this also it can be for two layers, like one for filter and other for drainage layer, and you can see that this extend under shoulders for this collection pipe and outlet pipe is given. Okay. So the requirement of the materials for this granular subbases, the water absorption, it should not be less than 2%, and for the materials passing for 25 micron sieve, make sure that the liquid limit value is less than 25% and the plasticity index value is less than 6%. When it comes to rural roads manual, for unsurfaced roads means suppose you have earthen road or you're providing only granular subbase over the road and there's no surface over that. In that case, make sure that the PA value should not exceed 9. Okay, as per rural roads manual where the volume is very less. And this material should satisfy the CBR requirement as specified. Minimum CBR requirement to 15 is reduced to 15 in case of rural roads. In case of actually for more specification, 20% is required, but for this rural roads, at least 15% it should have, and 10% fines value should be more than to 15 kilonewton. 10% fines value means if you're taking the material, if you're crushing it, to obtain this 10% finer material, you should have applied more than 50 kilonewton load. Okay. The construction procedure is first you have to prepare the subgrade. No subgrade to the camper, whatever it's required. So prepare the subgrade. Then mixing and preparation of granular subbase. Okay. Then spreading and compacting. So moisture content to be maintained with optimum moisture content plus 1% to OMC minus 2%. This is the range or to the OMC. That's the best thing. Then use a static roller with 8 to 10 ton may be used for compacting the layer thickness less than 100 meter. You can use vibratory roller for layer thickness up to 225 mm. Rolling, always make sure that the rolling starting from edges going towards the center. You should start from the edge of the road, start the rolling and then go towards the center. It should be different passes. No, one pass it might not be possible to cover the entire width of the road. So you should start from the edges towards the center, and speed of the roller should not exceed 5 km per hour. And after that, make sure the field density achieved should not be less than 98% of the maximum dry density what you obtain from the lab. Okay. And this is the compacted granular subbase layer. So the other above this granular subbase, you have your granular base course. In granular base course, you got water-bound macadam, wet mix macadam, and crusher run macadam. In earlier days we were using, or now also we are using waterborne macadam, but wet mix macadam is mostly preferred now for expressways, national highways and state highways and all. It's most preferred to have wet mix macadam. There are some advantages with this wet mix macadam, and it's more or less a controlled mix. You have a control over the mix for wet mix macadam. Then crusher run macadam also you can use. So waterborne macadam, the materials what you have is aggregates, screening material and binding material. Aggregates, crushed or broken stone can be used, crushed slag or overburnt brick or subbase can be used. Okay, so waterbound macadam, there's grading 1, 2 and 3, and aspects to be considered like grading of aggregates you should see, and then strength of the aggregates, shape of the aggregates, water absorption, screening material. So you have to check for the strength, shape properties, its grading, etc. And this is a WBM at a grading table. See, whenever you are choosing this granular material or stone, say suppose you are laying a 150 mm layer, and say either you can have large boulder with 150 mm, or you can have like large size stones, or still smaller stones can be there. So what do you feel, which is preferred, A, B or C? Whether to go for large or large boulders or large size stones or stone aggregate, which is preferred? To have bigger aggregates or smaller? So students, you are there, you can just respond. Why? Smaller.
Because will be like more green to green transfer, especially transfer the from.
Yeah. So one thing is this smaller, see bigger aggregate, if you see as in this figure, if you are applying a load over this boulder, suppose if it breaks, it seems that your entire layer will get collapsed. Okay. And for larger aggregate, and the void space is also very high here. Because of this larger. And the other thing is, you know that in case of flexible, the load is transmitted to the lower layer in shape of truncated cone through the point of contact. Wherever you have this point of contact, only through that points only the load is transmitted to the lower layer. So if you have bigger aggregates, you have only very less points of contact, right? If you have smaller aggregates, you have more these points of contact are there, less void. So it is better to adopt the smaller size aggregates for the construction of roads. Okay. So WBM construction. So first you have to prepare the subbase to the specified crossfall. Crossfall or to the slope, no 2%, 1 point, whatever it is. Accordingly, you should see the specify the crossfall or the camper. Then provision of inverted chalk. Inverted chalk means if your subgrade is weak, or if your GSP layer is weak, you can provide a thin layer, or if you wanted to lay this WBM just above the subgrade, so what you can do is you can provide a thin layer of sand cushion can be provided over this. That's inverted chalk. Next is spreading of the aggregate. Aggregate have to be spreaded, then packing and rolling of this aggregates. Then you have to spread the screenings or small chips or screening material have to be spread. Then watering and brooming. Then application of the binding material. Okay. Then watering and rolling and setting and run. So these are the steps. So you can see stone metals for WBM in stacked here, then spreading of the stone metal, then screening of this stone metal, and it has to be rolled. After that, apply the binder material over the WBM. Then you have to do the watering and rolling of the WBM. Okay. When you are using WBM, especially if you have soft subgrade, then it's very difficult while compacting. What will happen, this aggregates may sunk inside the soft subgrade, the subgrade also. So you should check for this. Okay, so these are the construction procedure. First one is preparation of subbase to the specified cross form, then provision of inverted chalk, spreading of the coarse aggregate, packing and rolling, then application of screenings, watering and brooming, application of binding material, watering and rolling, and then setting and drying, and then you can have the next layer over there. Okay, that's about the water bound macadam. Next is this WBM. WMM is wet mix macadam. So this wet mix macadam have single grading specified in MOT specification, but two gradations are provided in IRC 109. Okay, the single grading. So whenever you're choosing the material, you should make sure that your material satisfy this grading criteria. So as per the MOT is only one grading alone is given, but as per this IRC 109, grading 1 and grading 2 is given for WMR. So this has to be prepared using WMM plant. Okay, WMM plant means for this WMM you have to do the job mix formula, or you have to proportion the material. While proportioning the material, have some 2 or 3 material for trial, and whichever material is having, or whichever proportion is having the maximum OMC, the maximum MDD, dry density value, with the least OMC, it can be chosen as the design mix. So this mix is more or less controlled, okay, over WBM if you are comparing. So it's having better quality material as compared to WBM. So normally it's recommended for national highway projects and all. The physical requirement of aggregates, like properties of aggregates, it's same as WBM, and materials finer than 425 micron should have the plasticity index value less than, and this is the gradation requirement of WMM. Okay, as mentioned in MORTH, only one specification in one IRC 109. You have earlier even MORTH also two gradings were there, but now only this grading one is specified as per this MORTH specification. So in construction procedure, this is mostly mechanized method. So preparation. So first you have to prepare the mix. In case of WBM, what you were doing? So you are doing layer by layer. You are spreading the stone, then the screening material, then the binder material, then rolling. Okay. But in case of this WMM, it is prepared in a, as if you are mixing this concrete and all. No, you have seen mixture and all for mixing the concrete. Similarly, you have to prepare the mix in a mixing plant like puck mill or a pan type mixture. Okay, after that it has to be spread. Okay, spreading of the mix using paver or grader you can use. So this is more or less a mechanized method of construction, but not in WBM. WBM, layer by layer you are spreading the material. This you are mixing the material and then spreading it in the field. Okay, and so compaction using vibratory rollers for compacting the lower thickness up to 200, and static roller can be used for layer up to 75 mm. Then it has to be set and kept for drying. Okay, so here preparation of mix means you have to mix it with the proper proportion, whatever the water content you have to add that, mix it properly. Then as if you are laying the concrete, lay it on the road, then it has to be paved using either paver and then compact using the vibratory or the static twist rollers. Okay, setting. So you have more or less more quality control over this wet mix macadam compared to WBM, either in quality mechanics control because it's mixed and then laid. But in case of WBM, one by one it's laid, so you can't assure to have a uniform property over there. So it's better to go for WMM, wet mix macadam. Even nowadays in rural roads also, it's more preferred to go for this this wet mix macadam. Okay. Next one. Next is construction of bituminous layer. Bituminous layer. or bituminous pavement layer over the base or subbase. So bituminous surface course, this will provide a high resistance to deformation, high resistance to fatigue. It's having ability to withstand the high strains in strain values in flexible layers especially. So this should have sufficient stiffness to reduce the stresses in the underlying layers also, and high resistance to environmental degradation. It should be durable, low permeability, right? So it should be watertight layer against ingress of surface water. It should have good workability, means allow the adequate compaction and sufficient surface structure for good skid resistance in wet weather conditions. So this interface treatments, okay, before say apart from this bituminous layers, you have seen like prime coat, tank coat, crack prevention, test layers and all. One second. So crack prevention courses like stress absorbing membrane interface. Okay, tack coat, prime coat, seal coat you have seen. See, this crack prevention courses means suppose if you have cement stabilized base or sub base. Okay, if you the problem with cement is the strength will increase, but it may develop like shrinkage, cracks and all will be developed. And as these pavements are flexible, whatever the cracks, it will get reflected in the upper layers also. To prevent that, this crack reflecting in the upper layers. So above the cement stabilized base or sub base, you can have the stress absorbing membrane. Okay, it can have a thin membrane, or you can just provide a thin layer of aggregate layer also can be provided over this. So this prime coat, the purpose of priming of this prime coat, one is to plug the capillary voids in the base course. No, you're providing this over the between the base course and the bituminous layer. So this will provide or plug the capillary voids in the base course. Then next to coat and this bond the loose materials on the base course, because the base course you have this loose or granular material, so this will bond these materials properly. Next, to harden or toughen the surface, then to promote the adhesion between the granular and the bituminous layers. Tack coat, its purpose is to ensure the bond between the new construction and the old surface, or between the two layers of bituminous layers. So you can use cutback. So it should be restricted for sites at sub-zero temperature or for emergency applications, use of cutback. Whenever you are providing tack coat, spreading it, kindly make sure that it is spread at is uniformly throughout. It should not be a case like in some area if the tack coat is more, some areas devoid of tack coat. So if the tack coat is more, means what will happen is it used to come out of the pavement. Okay, and if it is very less, means proper bonding won't be there between the layers. So make sure that it is spread at uniformly throughout the layer. Next is dense bituminous macadam. This is a closely graded macadam. There are different types. Okay, you can have like dense bituminous macadam, over that bituminous corn, because bituminous layers is provided in two layers. So DBM, it's a closely graded and it's used as binder course for pavement subjected to heavy traffic. So hydrated lime or cement can be used as filler if the mix fails to meet the water sensitivity test. Okay, this is a grading requirement. So this DBM, if the layer thickness is 75 to 100 mm, you can choose grading 1. If it is 50 to 75 mm, grading 2 can be chosen. And what is a requirement of gradation is given. Other important one is you have to find what's the binder content. So if you are using grading 1, the minimum requirement is for 4, and for grading 2 minimum is for 0.5. Okay, so you have to do the mix design to find what is the optimum binder content required. And when doing the mix design, check whether it's meeting this minimum stability like 9 kilonewton at 60 degrees Celsius, or then like flow value like 2 to 4, and the compaction, sorry, this should be lower. So minimum flow is 2 and the maximum, the flow range is 2 to 4, and the compaction level is 75 blows on both sides. Percent air voids is 3 to 6, and the percent voids filled by bitumen is 65 to 75. So whenever you're doing this, it's done. The optimum moisture content, you have to cast the sample with that. You will be doing this in the as part of the laboratory Marshall stability test. So in this, make sure that these properties are also met out, okay, to find the optimum binder content. Then in bituminous concrete, this is again a dense graded bituminous mix used as bearing course for heavy traffic road. Okay, so you should check for the gradation of the aggregate and find the properties of the mixture, both bitumen and aggregate also. Then find the optimum bitumen content based on this Marshall mix design. Okay, so mixed BC consists of coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, filler, and binder. Binder is the asphalt or the bitumen, and this is done as per the Marshall mix design. Bituminous concrete, and you have grading 1 and 2 as per IRC 111 and also as per MARC. So grading this, the minimum bitumen content for grading 1 is 5.2, minimum bitumen content for grading 2 is 5.4. Okay, so you have to choose according to the thickness what is the grading to be adopted. And so quality, after you have to do the quality control test. Design of mix have to be done in the lab. Then the control of mixing, laying and rolling temperature. When during construction, make sure the temperature of mixing, laying and rolling is proper. Then check for the density, Marshall stability, flow, air voids. In the lab you can find this property. In the field also you can take the core sample and check for these properties. And retain stability, what's the optimum bitumen content. If it's 4% minimum, check whether that minimum 4% is there or not. Then check for the gradation of aggregates. Then riding quality as a control also. So design requirement again as if for this DBM, there are requirements for this BC also, like stability, flow value, compaction level, air voids, percent air voids in mineral aggregates, like it will be in the range of or above 12 or 13 depending on the layer thickness. One table is given. Percent air voids filled with bitumen 65 to 75. Loss of stability, okay, on immersion in water it's 60, minimum 75%. So depending on that you have to do the testing. Okay, apart from this there are some thin bituminous layers also, like pre-mixed carpet. Like for if the volume is very less, you can above the base course you can provide a thin layer of this pre-mixed carpet for like open graded 20 mm thick, or aggregate requirement for 10 meter square area, nominal size for 13.2 it's 0.18, and for 111.2 it's 0.09. Binder requirement is 14.6 kilogram for 10 meter square of area. Okay. Other layer is seal coat. Seal coat, this liquid seal coat or pre-mixed seal coat also can be used. This comprises a layer of binder hollowed by a cover of stone chippings. Okay, so you have a binder layer will be there, above that small stone chippings will be there. Pre-mixed means a thin, you are mixing it this fine aggregate with the binder, then laying it on the road. Okay. So the quantity of bitumen, it should be 9.8 kilogram to 6.8 kilogram per 10 meters square, depending on type A and B seal coat respectively. And for high rainfall regions you can go this type A seal coat, and low rainfall regions you can go for type B seal coat. Next, other like as part of this maintenance or other commonly used thin bituminous layer is the surface dressing. This a thin bituminous layer. So bituminous layer serve as a waterproofing seal over that. So stone chippings. This will protect the film of binder from damage by vehicles. Okay. So what you have here is a one or two layers of stones chippings will be there. So this forms a durable skid resistance and dust free wearing surface. You can use pre-coated aggregates also can be used. So the purpose is to get a good wearing surface for low traffic roads from dust nuisance. To protect the WBM layer, it acts as a waterproof seal and prevent entry of water into the lower layers. This will arrest the deterioration of pavement and increase the skid resistance. So in this, what you are laying is you have a two layer of either pre-coated bituminous aggregate or like binder aggregate. So one or two layers of binder and aggregate layer will be there in this stone chippings. But the cases in case of surface dressing, there's aggregate or the small stones, it should be spread uniformly. There are specific equipments for spreading this stone chippings in the in surface dressing. Okay, that's all about the bituminous road construction. Okay, any doubt in this?